Alrighty, I am back. Get ready for our second series of the night, 4 in total. And yeah, we'll see. Hopefully there is more news, more announcements, more clarity soon about how the rest of all of this works. And then we can also make our own plans, right? And we can also do what the scene, what the community needs the most. We'll figure it out. One step at a time, one day at a time. It is what it is. 2 minutes 6. Where did you watch the video, Lina? Whose video? We've got maps. Indy will host up. What are you guys voting for? Gunna, Erik. They made a highlight video. I can maybe watch it as soon as I hop into the lobby. I don't want to delay our players. Take a look at it together. I mean, ESL has really been amazing to us. This
blood in the history, ladies and gentlemen. Reynor is going.
I mean, there's so many good moments. I'll definitely take a look at it. Maybe after this best of 5. Because I think my gamers are ready. And if the gamers are ready, we hop into it. I also know that the future is on a bit of a tight schedule. Not that tight that we have to worry about him not playing or something. But I also don't want to delay it any longer. And an Erik series, guys. Could be anything. 3 months ago, though. How come? Which part, Allison? Yeah, all Central is good. Time to tell Reynor to focus on S2 again. Reynor knows me. Reynor is a world champ. You don't need to tell world champs what to do. Reynor has accomplished a lot more in video games in his life than 99.99999% of this planet ever will. Reynor doesn't need anybody to tell him what to do. Trust Reynor. Trust the process. And I'm not worried about a strong Reynor. I'm not worried about Reynor qualifying. I'm not worried about Reynor doing good this summer. You know, if Reynor was some sort of a talent that never truly amounted to anything and is struggling with motivation or couldn't show it when it matters, yeah, then maybe you could say Reynor needs to do X, Y, or Z. But if you look at Reynor's career, I don't think Reynor needs anybody to tell him what to do. Reynor is amazing, and I'm not worried about Reynor. Yeah, but that's different. Reynor. Okay, fair point, mate. You make a fair point, but I don't think we can quite compare Reynor playing a couple games of League of Legends in the offseason to Mike Tyson partying his ass off, putting Lord knows what into his body. I don't think... I'm sure you... Like, if Reynor would go down that route, mate, I agree. I would drag him by his ears out of wherever place he's in and put him back behind a computer. But I think you can also agree with me that that's not quite the same, right? Let's do it, guys. Second series of the night. Winner gets 80 buckies, loser gets 20.
Let's get it on.
Round 1. Fight.
Bottom left side of Hellscape. We are looking at the main base of our Brazilian Zerg. I know it's a little quiet around him these days, but he's always fun to watch. This guy plays is so different than any other Zerg at his level. We used to love Bly for all of his antics and his weird strategies. Well, this man is kind of like a Bly. Games are going to look really different tonight, and hopefully they'll be fun. Hopefully he can make it a fun series. This is Erik. And in the top right side, the Ukrainian Protoss, who has truly made a lot of progress over the last 5 months. I feel like he used to be in the low 5Ks, but these days he is damn strong. 5'5", 5'6", taking down big names left, right, and center. This is Gunna. Yeah, it's a unique opportunity, Sixth Sense. Just gotta watch a little more RotterdaM, mate. Or you can do it for free at a Home Story Cup or Stara Zagora. I would say EWC, but that's a little difficult. But we can have a coffee or a tea there. That's also possible. Do we have DSL coming this year too? I believe that is happening. I don't have any confirmations on it, but that does really seem to happen. And I'm sure that the GSL thing is tying into EWC one way or the other. Otherwise, I truly wonder how is that happening. Or it's just a much smaller version of GSL. I don't know. I don't have all the answers for you guys. For real, Gugus. Will community keep Monday night going? That's definitely the plan. And I will obviously help, and I think you guys help, and all the other content creators help. I think we can keep the weekly cups going. I personally still think that we should not do all 3 weekly cups on a Monday. I think it's too much StarCraft on a single day, leaves a lot of other days empty. But yeah, that is a discussion for a different day. But we are definitely doing our best with the community cups, and as long as people keep watching, keep cheering for their favorite players, as long as gamers keep signing up, I think we can make it. We can make it a mainstay thing. I agree, Kubbles, but you know, also let the other guys know. You guys don't have to convince me because I'm on your side. Tell TKL, tell Funka, tell anybody else that runs the Monday night cups or Monday afternoon cups or Monday evening cups that 3 exact same cups in a single day is too much, and it's much better to move it to a different day. And I also think if you move it to a different day, whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday, you make it a lot more accessible for a lot of casual gamers out there. Because a lot of people can't even play on Friday. They're still on their way home from university, work, or they live in different continents. On a Monday, that is. It honestly is. It would be better to split them up a little bit. Better for the gamers, I think better for the scene, better for the viewers as well, so they don't have to watch Clem and Hero and MaxPax 3 times in 3 different tournaments in a single day, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. It's a little overkill. First game, guys. Erik is already doing Erik things. We kind of just talked over it while discussing everything else that is currently happening in the world of StarCraft, but a casual hatchery in the middle of nowhere. Roddy, this looks weird. It's Erik. For Erik, this ain't weird. Thank you to Folkward for the 17 months. It's a discussion for a different day, but I do agree with you guys. Like, I think we should move it to the weekend. And even if, like, once in a while other big tournaments happen in weekends, like, you can... Skipping a week is not the end of the world, or moving it to a different time slot so it doesn't overlap. It would be better. No, it's not that anybody, like... It's not that you need to do rock, paper, scissors. It's just that the other casters need to agree as well. Gunnar took a lot of damage to the Oracle. Like, when I brought it up, basically I was the only one of the casters that are involved, whether it's Naruto or Steadfast or TKL or Funka, that was in agreement that it... Or... I was the only one on the side who said we should move it. They said they prefer to keep the weekends open to give space for other tournaments to run. No, Mondays never got skipped, Optimist. Never. There was a small period where after the Clara, Steadfast and the Roddy Cup, we didn't have a Monday Cup. I organized a few different events a few times. 1 or 2 Mondays we had nothing, but basically we always had something. What other tournaments? Like, for instance, Spring TV Championship, Winter Championships, that kind of stuff. Big water events. Or qualifiers. Warno, that kind of stuff. That is what they were looking at. Erik's work account is absolutely mental. Gunnar has played this one, I want to say a little bit safe, cautious. Did kill a couple Zerglings, hasn't killed any drones, has made double Oracle. What he does have here though, guys, is a 13 Adepts with resonating glaives. I mean, I think we should always have some StarCraft on the Monday, don't get me wrong. I just don't know if we need the same tournament 3 times a day. That's the whole point, right? That is a lot of that drones right now. Erik may have had a crazy high work account, but Gunnar is going to do something about it. That Queen sniping the Oracle is quite big. 10 roaches on the production tab, but by the time that these roaches are all out, I have a feeling that even more drones will die. And that is kind of inevitable. Erik a little bit late on the pool. He's got hatcheries for days. He's got potential to remake workers for days, but what's the point of going up to 71 if we then lose 29? Ay, ay, ay. And I almost want to say we ain't even done yet, but I guess we're about done. So now Gunner is cooking economically. Like a 16 to 20 worker lead is mega. But he also just lost all of his map presses on the other side of the map. He lost one of his oracles with a crazy amount of energy. And Erik has 5 hatcheries. So it's obviously very doable for Erik to rebuild workers of 5 freaking hatcheries. I agree that the army supply of Erik is not big enough to really counterattack, but I don't think he should. I think you can fake it, but I think what Erik should mostly do is just try to continue to spread creep and bounce back in the worker department and make sure that we don't take any follow-up damage from 2 random adepts. Kind of painful. Thank you, Foucault Spendulum mate, for the 89 months. I appreciate you. I think it's already safe to say that this should be a pretty close series, right, between these two. Whenever you put a Ukrainian Protoss up against the Brazilian Zerg, it's obviously a bit of a guessing game and you don't know. I think Gunner is looking good here in game 1. I think Erik in the end was just a tiny bit too greedy, making a few too many drones, not enough units. And now you're basically always doing things in the wrong order. When you need more units, you're making drones. When you need drones, you're making units. Maybe Erik can take a good fight against the Stalkers here. There is a stasis trap. Lynx will activate it. Good job there by the Brazilian Zergy, but we need a few more units. That is actually turning into a pretty nice surround. Now a couple of the Stalkers cannot blink. Will Gunner fight or will he run? He's kind of doing both. He's fighting while running. Roaches is so slow. It looks so slow off creep. He does have the Roach speed upgrade, but even then they just look a bit slow. The numbers were not quite big enough. The Lynx do have +1 melee, so if the Lynx get enough surface area, it is kind of good. That's a lot of Stalkers melting. Much better fight now for Erik. And perhaps this time it is Gunner who overstayed his welcome a little bit. He's on 80 probes. The Protoss on 80 probes should not be bleeding out this many Stalkers so far on the other side of the map. And Hellscape is a damn large map. This is risky because he's going up to 4 bases, he's going up to +2, charge, storm, but we also need to make sure that we don't just die. Hello, Anubis. Yeah, but who's going to do that right now, Scorpion? Who is going to do that, right? I don't know if we'll have another patch before the Esports World Cup. I think this current patch is honestly quite good. I think Protoss is strong, but not invincible. Also, I think Protoss has underperformed so bad over the last 5, 6, 7 years. The biggest event of the world. That Protoss coming in strong is not the end of the world. But it would obviously be nice if we could maybe fix 1 or 2 things before this summer. Who runs the EU qualifier? I don't know. I don't even know if we have an exclusive EU qualifier. None of this is known. What is known is that Storm is good against Roaches if Roaches stand in it. If Roaches move away and start sniping High Templars, it is less good. Gunner losing 16 probes. Definitely pretty exciting games tonight so far, guys. We had some chaos in patches against Hackerist up, and we are having all the chaos here between Gunner and Erik. And now with Hive Tech done, it suddenly looks alright now for our Brazilian Zerg. Will we see a Clem TVT again? I think if we play on this version, you honestly won't. If there is a patch where they change TVT a little bit, then there is a chance. Erik's attacks always feel so almost random. I'm sure that there is a lot of thought that goes into it, but we suddenly morph all of our Roaches into Ravagers, and before Adrenal Glands, before +2 melee, we just continue to fight, hoping that we can overwhelm the Protoss here. I don't think we can. I think with all those High Templars, cannon, a couple batteries, Oracle doing its thing, I kind of think Gunner has enough here. Maybe the Banelings can connect with the workers. The other Banelings are chilling. Hard to see if there is a counterattack happening with blue, but I don't think there is. If it really is all about this fight, it's starting to look quite decent for Gunner if you ask me, as long as he doesn't lose the High Templars against a couple of Banelings. He's killed so many Roaches and the Ravagers. Erik is building an insane amount of units that even though he's bleeding out a lot, here come the Bane. Storm is good. Banelings connect with a bit of everything, but not their dream targets. Quite the first game. 12 minutes of hellscape video gaming. Who do we like it for, guys? We like it for our Protoss. Double Robo, Storm, 4 bases. Erik is a high-tech Zerg. Doesn't have a lot of money in the bank. I think it honestly looks quite good for Gunner. It should always look good for Gunner, but it's also been a weird game. It's a chaotic game. On top of that, this is a map that he maybe doesn't have crazy amounts of experience on. I'm not saying it's impossible for Erik to win, but the advantage, I think, is in the corner of Gunner. Off gold base in the top left side. Single Zerglings on top of it. Aspire, guys. Feels a little bit weird. I don't think this is a game for Mutas right now. We don't have the money for it. Gunner already has the answers for it, I'd say. Especially with +3. +3 Blink Stalkers and Storm. And there are a couple cannons and batteries everywhere. Like, Mutas are not really an option, I would say. Broodlords are gonna take forever. So I don't know if that's an option. And on top of that, a lot of people will say that the Broodlords suck. 8 more Overlords. While only having 12 a free supply. Big Storm lands on the Lings and the Roaches looking for a surround. Stalker's probably gonna have to blink away. These Lings do pack a punch, guys. +2 melee and Adreno Glands. Even shield batteries will get drained very quickly. Erik really embraces the swarm, eh? Erik is your Wings of Liberty Zerg that you didn't know you missed so much in life. Man just built so many units, throws all of them away, is always maxed out, loses 20 drones, bounces back. Erik is living in his own world and I love it. On creep, by the way, there is potential. There's Banelings in the mix. Can the Banelings connect with the High Templars? Is there a will? Yes, but the Immortals body block a couple of the Banes. Kill the Prism. You need to kill the Prism here, Erik. If you want to have a tiny shot, he gets the Prism. Oh, the Zerglings show up. Is there a way, guys? Oh my god, what a fight. Erik, what a fight. I don't know if it's going to win him the game, but a picture-perfect fight by our Brazilian Zerg. Making all the correct choices there. Sniping that Prism all 0.2 seconds before all the extra Zealots got warped in. Insane. But he's still in trouble. Gunner is so rich. And even with Gunner losing almost everything there. Deep on creep. He's gonna lose a base, might lose a couple Stalkers, 2 Zerglings. And if Erik wins this game, it's a pretty goated performance, not going to lie. Protoss. That great Aspire, guys, that I said would take forever, is on the way. Erik does have his hands on this bottom right side base. Half of it is a gold. Pretty damn good income. Like legitimately as good of a base as you can take, besides a gold with 8 mineral patches, which we've only ever seen on like 1 or 2 maps. Your probes are gonna get picked off and Nexus very exposed. Nexus gets cancelled. There should be qualifiers. SZY. It's just not announced yet. We don't have all the answers, but there should always be qualifiers. You think Gunner is dead? Is he? He's sick. I don't know if he is. I think Erik is too broke to say that Gunner is dead when Gunner has +3, Blink and Storm. 4 Immortals. What do you mean? He's got 14 Stalkers with +3, mate. Haven't you stayed up to date with the Zerg propaganda? I heard 4 Stalkers with +3 can actually kill 12 Broodlords. And if you add a High Templar in the mix, they can kill 17 Broodlords. Look at that. Jumi pretending he doesn't know. Jumi. Gunner is 5'5", 5'6", 5'7". We don't know. SZY. We got a couple answers today, and we still have a lot of questions. I wish that I had all the answers for you guys, but I don't. No one, I think, really has them right now. Maybe besides somebody over at EWC. And I'm sure they'll tell us real quick. A couple of High Templars get surrounded. That is big. Gunner, I don't know if he has a recall, by the way. He did recall not too long ago. He's fighting Broodlords with a severe lack of anti-air, like Yumi pointed out. But here is the Storm. And here are those 3 Stalkers I mentioned. 4 Stalkers. Can 4 Stalkers blink forward and kill all the Brutes? I believe. No, I mean, both players are maxed out, to be fair. And maxed out Protoss. Okay, there is that forward blink. Jumi, look at them +3 blink stalkers go. Broodling's doing that. What a game. Legitimately, what an insane game between Erik and Gunnar. So back and forth. Started off with that weird little hatchery in the wall, but you know, that's just Erik doing Erik things. Brood's still here. Killing High Templar with a lot of energy. One big fat storm does soften up a couple of the broods. What's happening over here? Still more roaches, more lings. How many lings do you guys think have died in this 18-minute game? Ooh, that's a nice engagement, by the way, by Gunnar. As Gunnar comes in from the bottom left. Now Stalkers blink underneath the Broodlords. He kills everything again, too. I think it's 480 Zerglings. 412 is the correct number. So Gunnar wins the fight in the top left, loses the Nexus on the right. Now Gunnar can take out another base as well as... I don't know if Erik wants to be here. Don't see a lot of anti-air. I think Gunnar might still have done it. Losing all those Broodlords, splitting up the army was perhaps a mistake. Maybe Erik felt like he had no other choice. He had no infestors. The Lings are definitely doing their thing. But this is an army that I just don't really see how Erik is going to clean it up anytime soon. A silly amount of Immortals. Obviously, they have their barriers. The Archons do get surrounded, but Erik, I think, is running out of steam. He is going to get 8 more Broodlords. 8 more Broods in the corner of the main. We also have an Ultralisk Cavern. Can you look at the amount of kills for the Oracle? Yes. 34. 34. Ooh, Great Aspire is gonna get sniped, I think, right before +1 flyer attacks. Yes, that one gets denied. Here are the Brutes, the absolute last thing that Erik, I think, probably has to offer here. It's a mix. I mean, obviously, if Lings get surrounded this army, Lings are sick. Will this game have one final plot twist? There are Lings, there's only one Archon. I don't think Gunnar really wants to lose his army either. Hits us with a recall, loses a couple Stalkers, gonna lose all these Immortals too. I think at this point, all that Gunnar needs to do is just build Stalkers and Storm, baby. Stalkers, Storm, Archons. Erik is still the one with bases though, guys. Gunnar's got the workers, but he doesn't really have a good place to put them. Erik has all the bases, lack of workers. The consistent weekly tournaments are still happening, to be honest, for fun. Those have continued to happen. Same size, perhaps even slightly better. So but that's not something you truly have to worry about. What you can say is the regionals and stuff. Those are serious money. The online regionals, like obviously, that is something that's going to be very hard to fund. How many storms are we looking at? 4. 2 Ultras, Guidance Plating, 3 Immortals left. On creep, guys. 79 arms play against 83. An absolutely bizarre game. Oh, forward blink, a little bit risky. You really don't have that much anti-air. Didn't get a lot of Broodlords. Erik is down 44 supply, but in a weird way, he's the one with more potential on the income, because he's got much fresher bases. Gunnar has 75 probes, but this is what they're doing. I mean, honestly, that gives you decent income when that many probes are long distance mining. Yeah, he's got Adrenal Glands. He had it a long time ago. +3 Adrenal Glands. Gunnar has to make so certain that he doesn't run out of Archons. Because if he ever runs out of Archons and Lings and Ultras surround his army, oh, he's so thirsty. 2 Lings counterattacking. This is always a good sign, by the way, if you're a Zerg and you see all this long distance mining. Forward blink. Every single Broodlord matters. 2 of them get picked off immediately. Erik wondering, where did all my Lings go? Do I have enough Ultras? He's got 5 Ultras now. Ooh, that's a risky blink with the Stalkers. This is a bizarre game. It's only game 1 of the best of 5. The winner gets $80, the loser gets 20. That is all brought to you guys by Basilisk. From gamers, for gamers. Yeah, this is some serious Jaedong Stardust levels of weird late game. Oh, this could be it. One final fight, one more Broodlord dies. I believe in the Zerg. Do I believe in the Zerg? Can the Lings and the Ultras get the surround that we are looking for? We are getting High Templars picked off. Ultras turn around, looking to fight some Zealots, protecting the Broodlords. Oh my goodness, what a game! Two Immortals left, shooting at a gas there for a split second. Extra Broodlings on the ground. The closest game of Starcraft that I have seen in freaking forever. A few more storms land. I think the final Zerg units for Erik is good enough. What a game. Oh my god. Erik is good. Erik is an absolute god. What a game. Wow. After 23 minutes, as close as a game of Starcraft could possibly be. Man, that was sick. 1-0 lead for our Brazilian Zerg. Damn, that was fun. Very, very, very close. Link's always so good with the Reynor. Oh, even the Broodlord micro there towards the end, and then getting a couple of the Ultras to turn around to protect the Broodlords from the right. A very, very fun game. I got a lot of replay requests from our YouTube casters. I think that is one that they would have a lot of fun with. KLF saying, whoop, EWC 2025. That is right, mate. I hope that I can be there for the third time. I mean, technically, it's the second edition of EWC. That is very good. The other stuff obviously leaves people worried, leaves people concerned, and I get it. But we will see. At least I am very, very happy for... not just for myself or for some of you guys that there is a big tournament happening, but it's such a big deal for all of the pro gamers. Because any pro gamer that is going to make it to EWC can now sign a really good contract with teams. If they're teamless, you think of someone like Hero. Hero can sign a legitimately very sick contract. So that's nice. And then anybody else is going to make it can sign really good contracts. And they'll get a lot of love and support for as long as we are part of EWC. That's for sure. Game 2. Man, what a game. I need a break after that game, but...
Round 2. Fight!
Top and right side of ley lines. We are looking at the main base of our Ukrainian Protoss. Was so close to winning it 5 times over. In the end, it didn't quite go his way. The long distance mining didn't kick in quick enough. This is Gunner. Bottom left side opening up with the pool. Erik got some fame a little while ago for an Erik opening, but I think that is very different than what we are currently seeing, as he is playing some Lambo tactics, sneaking a drone to the other side of the map. Our Brazilian Zerg, Erik. Probes being pulled from the main. Not every Protoss, but a lot of Protoss players deal with this kind of stuff differently. Some of them don't pull workers at all, some of them go gate port, some of them go double gate. Some of them pull a lot of probes just to cancel this hatchery as quickly as possible. Seems that Erik probably not gonna let the hatchery finish up. Gunner has gone for a 5 probe defense and double gate. Downside of this for Gunner is, of course, A, we're losing a lot of mining time right now, and B, our entire build is a bit messed up. You guys can see already pylon block, the supply block pylon a little bit late. And our expand is going to be way, way later. The upside for Gunner is that he's got very early double gate. And you can obviously apply some good pressure with double gate early on. As long as the Zerg doesn't have Zergling speed. Erik is going to go for a full wall of over here or something, right? Huh? Imagine one big qualifier, good luck, best of one. If that's the case, I'm playing Juanito. If that is the case, I am playing. Erik didn't even let the Evo Chamber finish up. Kind of like it when they let the Evo Chamber finish up. Like, you're gonna lose the drone anyway, you barely get any money back. Maybe just didn't get enough HP in time. Wouldn't surprise me if Erik just goes for a full wall off here, because his gas is obviously quite late. Gonna try to do the proxy hatch again. Gambling a little. Don't know about Oliveira, by the way, for anybody that's asking. I don't think so, because Oliveira didn't quit only because it was uncertain. Oliveira quit just because he didn't like the whole situation, and overall maybe he lost a bit of that fire. To be the very best video gamer in the world in a difficult game like Starcraft, you need to have that crazy burning desire to become the very best version of yourself. And maybe Oli just kind of felt that he peaked, and hey, his peak was amazing. One of the greatest peaks that we have ever seen. And I think he's happy right now. If he ever comes back, I'm sure that would excite a lot of nerds. But I would not count on it. I think it's very unlikely. Hello, Rex. Twilight Council and a Robo being built in the main base of Gunner. So it's double gate into 4 gate. Resonating Glaive Adept. This is what I am expecting. That makes sense here. Goblin in the past would sometimes go crazy and go for like mass 2 base blink stalker aggression. Been away for a bit, but hype for the EWC Niels. Thanks for another great Friday. Thank you, OG Quasi Matey. I'm also excited. Also still very curious about everything else, but overall, guys, I am happy. Steve Juanito has been playing a lot more again lately. Was definitely inactive for a while, and I think the same goes for Scarlett. Probably was quite inactive for a while and is now starting to play a bit more again. I mean, Scarlett is the one who reached out to us. He was literally in the chat saying like, hey, I'd like to play. And I said, hey, if Scarlett wants to play, we're always going to invite Scarlett. And Special definitely had a pretty healthy break, but is starting to play a lot more again. And did recently 3-0 Nikic, which is very impressive if you ask me. EWC 2025, no Clem vs Maru PVT. Would be nice. As a man with a heart that beats for Basilisk, I would say that's not very nice. I'm sorry. I'd love to see that in the earliest stages of the tournament, but not my dream final. That would not be good. That means that our boys, Trigger, Reynor, and Serral, did not make it, and I'd not be too happy with that. Maru is not making EWC. Nah, I think Maru will definitely make it, mate. We've got a Dark Shrine on the way on the side of Gunner as well as a follow-up. Is this a wall-off? Yes, it is. Sometimes I'm worried that there is a tiny gap. This many adepts, by the way, can absolutely kill the Evo Chamber. Even a couple of the roaches taking that fight. I don't know if that's the prettiest fight for Erik, the man who won an absolute turbo banger of a first game. 6 minutes here into ley lines. It's gonna struggle, guys. That's a lot of adepts. 14 adepts with War Prism support and Resonating Glaive Adept. Dark Shrine halfway done. Oh, this time the Evo Chamber gets picked up. Doesn't really let the adept shade through. I don't know who this is good for. Roach count is going up very rapidly. Now Gunner is, I think, gonna let this shade finish up to create some chaos. Erik is kind of on top of it. Maybe pull the drones for a split second. The Roach is trying to get as many shots off as possible. I mean, the biggest problem, guys, I think is that Dark Shrine. The Dark Shrine finishing up. There is no detection here. There is an Overseer, actually. We do have a lair. There's one spore in the main, one spore in the natural. Maybe it's alright, actually. Impressive hold, right? Honestly, I thought this was going to be a lot more difficult. Now, Erik's kind of cooking. Oh, Gunner was a little bit late there. Lost one of the DTs. If he loses 2, that would have been real bad. Man, it's actually sick defense by Erik. Legitimately, all things considered, pretty damn good defense. What's my dream final? You can make me choose between our 3 players. Anything that involves Trigger, Reynor, and Serral is my dream final. Can't say anything else. And don't make me pick. Whoever plays better and whoever deserves it the most. Dark finally in the military. Honestly, mate, I'm kind of expecting Dark to just be there. Dark is pulling his ass. They never truly retire. I mean, Serral Clem obviously would be a great final. Reynor Clem would be a fantastic final. I'd be beyond thrilled if Trigger makes it. And honestly, I genuinely believe that Trigger can make it this time. He got so good, I think, over the last 5-6 months. War Prism is very low. Erik cannot get that final shot off. The game definitely looks good for Erik, though. Oh. Yeah. I'm not playing in that free-for-all anymore. Unless I get a real prize, I ain't playing. They got me so excited saying that I could win a phone. I was so thrilled, and then in the end I won a Boxer t-shirt. What the hell am I going to do with a Boxer t-shirt? Have they seen the size of this belly? I'm not going to fit in that t-shirt. Boxer can keep his shirt. Gave it to Zombie Grow. I'm only defending my title if I can actually win a phone. Or something among those lines. I'll fight for an all Hilal jersey, an all Nassar jersey, anything, but not a boxer shirt. Erik is gonna drop 4 roaches in at the back of the main. Needs detection here, by the way, otherwise Gunner could just warp in DTs. Even if DTs don't clean this up very quick. Oh, the adept warp in is a bit unfortunate. I guess he expected the Zergling drop. I have an all Hilal jersey, by the way, guys. I wear it during Padel. Kinda bought it because Neymar was playing there. Now Neymar is no longer there. Speaking of Neymar, that Brazilian does great things. Erik, our Brazilian Zerg, does even better things. GG gets cold. Erik is legit cooking, man. Impressive. 2-0 lead for our Brazilian Zerg. 1 map away from winning $80. Plays damn good. Plays damn good. That's definitely not true, Steve. we can't just jump to these conclusions and say that's what it is. What about that second announcement? You don't think we've had enough announcements yet, Muffin? Think we've had a lot of announcements, mate. You want more? Who does Trigger play for? For us, mate. He is a proud member of Basilisk. He was actually the very first player to join Basilisk. Some people get their timeline wrong and they think that Basilisk entered by signing Serral and then Reynor. But no, Trigger was the first player on Basilisk, and he was technically a member even before I was a member. I was already organizing tournaments and I helped them with some advice on which Starcraft 2 players are great and explaining the scene a little bit. But Trigger was the first official Starcraft 2 member of the Basilisk roster. I will sub if you can tell me what team Mixu is currently on. I think he's teamless. Unless it is still Berserker Esports. Or maybe he moved to Alien Esports. I think Berserker Esports is the last thing that he represented at the WTL. I don't know if that's still a thing. All nice tries. Did he join Little Fairy? Am I looking at Elfin, Little Fairy Mixu? Well, what is Mixu part of? No, Kappa, you are the 27th person to ask, and unfortunately, we don't know. Some people say, is it just going to be invite? That I can absolutely shut down. There is 0% chance that it's just an invite. If they invite anybody, maybe the top 4 of last year, maybe the winner, but there will obviously be qualifiers. How will those qualifiers look? Will they be held online, offline? I don't know. I legit don't know. I have not heard a single thing about it. We've had one announcement. What was the second announcement? Didn't we have at least 2 announcements? We had an announcement that the Esports World Cup is happening. We also had an announcement that the ESL Pro Tour is stopping. Mixer is apparently on PCEC. I'm not familiar with it. You guys should play in those Uthermal Cups and Body Cups, guys. Maybe one of them gets turned into an EWC qualifier. Who knows?
Round 3. Fight.
2-0 up. It is our always fun, entertaining, crazy Brazilian Zerg player. 1 map away from winning 80 buckies on the Friday night in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. This is Erik. Top left side of Whispers of Gold. We are looking at the main base of our Ukrainian Protoss. Was so close to winning that first game. Second game, it looked like there was potential. First in the adepts, then in the DTs, but just was not quite able to get it together. This is Gunner. ESL Pro Tour stopping means that there is no longer a ESL circuit that qualifies you for the biggest event of the year. Whether that would be IM Katowice in the past or obviously last year the Esports World Cup. There's no longer a ongoing thing of stuff that they keep track of. They don't do the patches anymore. They don't do the balance council. They don't run weekly cups. They don't run those big online regionals where you can win a bunch of prize money and qualify for the offline DreamHack. None of that. Done. Will there be anything that replaces some of that? Maybe. We don't know yet. I legitimately don't know. I know it's going to keep on happening throughout today and tomorrow and the next day, and we're going to repeat ourselves very often, but The information that is currently publicly available is the information that I have to. I don't know more than that. Can definitely shut down a couple of silly things or people jumping to crazy conclusions, but other than that, I don't know more than you guys do. If you guys ever see a Dark Templar with the ability to hop on the back of a Phoenix, turn it into an invisible melee air warrior, then you guys know that I'm in charge of the Balance Council. If that ever makes it into the game, just know that it has the Roddy footprints all over it. If that never happens, I have nothing to do with balance. Yeah, I think that is a possibility, Caleb. Earlier I said only the winner. I think there is a small chance they maybe invite the top 4 from last year. But I don't know if they will do that, to be honest. I can see them invite Clem, because Clem is the reigning defending champ. It doesn't make a difference whether you make Clem qualify or you invite him. He's going to be there anyway. I think outside of that, everyone is going to have to qualify. Yeah, I fought for that 75 starting energy. Can't believe they robbed me of that. Home Story Cup circuit. I don't know if that's doable. You think ESL will organize the qualifiers last time? Yeah, there is a good chance that ESL is still in charge of the qualifiers. Just because they don't run a Pro Tour doesn't mean that they say, hey, we never want anything to do with Starcraft. Like, technically the Esports World Cup is ran by ESL, right? In a way. It's obviously not exactly the same, but it's sort of ran by ESL, and a lot of ESL employees behind the scene. A lot of people from ESL have made the transition to only exclusively work on EWC, so it's possible, mate. It's very, very possible. Yeah, exactly. Just because they don't want to be in charge of a 24/7 all year long circuit and the entire scene doesn't mean they'll never do anything again. We have a bunch of lings and queens on the production tab. We are creating a bit of a Brazilian highway from the Amazon straight to Snake Island. That is what Erik is going to try to bring here to Gunner. I don't know if Gunner is aware of this, guys. I think he saw some creep in the center of the map. These worlds always difficult to deal with. It's been a rough series for Gunner. A fantastic first game, but he could be in some trouble here. To be fair, Erik has very little supplies. Erik just trying to scare him, fake him out. And he's actually droning. He's trying to create a crazy amount of creep, making it impossible for the Stalkers to move out later on. Lynx getting a surround on the Nexus. Honestly, if the Lynx and 3 Queens kill the Nexus here, that is terrible news for Gunner. Because this investment is really not that big on the side of Erik. Now, it's something, don't get me wrong. We can pretend it's nothing. There is a transfuse landing as well. Man, Erik is so cool. What on earth am I watching? 12 Lynx and 3 Queens and some creep. Make it to the other side of the map. Can kill the Adept. Can kill another Adept. Maybe even the Oracle. That Stalker was a slow weapon as well. Erik has really found his mojo. What a performance. Sure, he's going to lose these screens and whatnot, but he's got creep everywhere, and there is a 2 base Protoss on the other side. You look at Erik games, and you ask yourself, how does he make it work? I don't know. And suddenly he's on 4 bases. He's droning up a little bit. If you're Gunner right now, guys, like, we obviously can see that, okay, maybe there's not that much on the other side of the map. If you're Gunner, look at this from Gunner's point of view. This is terrifying. There is creep all over a potential 4th base. He's got a low HP Oracle. He can't really move out. We're 7 minutes into the game. You know that everywhere you go, there's a good chance your opponent can have a Link and have more creep. Now roaches show up already. Blink still not quite done yet. I don't know about this attack by Erik, by the way, but hey, if Erik likes it, who am I? A bit of a donation. Tiny bit of a donation on the side of Erik, but alright. Sporting Dono. I'll be honest, guys. Out of all the potential outcomes of this best of 5, a 3-0 victory for Erik, I would have said is the least likely outcome. You know, from a 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, a 3-1, 3-2 the other way around, or 3-0. I really think that a 3-0 for Erik is the most surprising outcome that could have been. Gunnar has made some really good progress lately, and obviously it's not a 3-0 yet. Gunnar still has a shot here in this final game. But he misclicks and he guns down one of his own stalkers. That is very, very painful. Every single unit counts, especially when we are base trading, when we are losing probes on the other side of the map, maybe losing a Nexus. Every single unit counts, but Stalker's definitely doing that thing. Nexus dies. I'm afraid for Gunnar, like trading out a third base for a fourth that wasn't even saturated. This time Nick is quite good enough. 13 roaches on the production tab. Off creep, maybe Gunnar is fine. But on creep, he's really going to struggle. Roaches are looking for a surround as well. Big stasis trap on the side of Gunnar, that's nice. 15 more roaches in the way, but it is time to get your Vamos Brazilian flaggies out. Because I do really think that Erik is going to find a way to close this one out. Gunnar probably feels that he is in all sorts of trouble. All he's got is a couple of wounded stalkers, 2 wounded oracles, 1 full HP oracle. I think too much Zerg. Too much Zerg, and all that creep is so frustrating. Like, oracles are just not the best creep cleaners out there. A long time ago, the oracle had a different form of detection. I think it was called Envision. And then you would just turn it on, and it would basically be like a mobile scanner, and it would detect everywhere it goes for 20 seconds. Back then, oracles were pretty good in pushing back creep. Ever since they turned it into this revelation, oracles are just bad, man. They're good in like containing creep, but they're really bad in cleaning up half a map that's covered in creep. Those are some fantastic force fields by Gunnar. There's a lot of roaches, guys. And I'm gonna hopefully not suffer from claustrophobia. These roaches are very stuck. Erik is a little bit reckless here, but Erik don't care. Erik says, I'm Brazilian. I have to deal with anything that the Amazon has to offer. I am willing to go to Snake Island if I have to. I don't care. This is crazy. This feels reckless. But anything Erik does today seems to work out. An absolute turbo banger of a first game. Second and third game. Bit random, bit crazy, but really fun strategies. A lot of people say that Starcraft 2 is all about mechanics these days. There is no strategy involved anymore. And Erik says, hold my caparina, sir. I'll figure it out. I'll do it my own way. I don't play anything like the top Zergs out there. And I can still get a 3-0 victory over a strong Ukrainian Protoss in the name of Gunnar. Legitimately, very impressive performance. Did not expect this. I could see maybe Erik win, but then I thought if Erik would win, it'd be a very weird, crazy 3-2. 3-1 would already be impressive. 3-0 I think is mad impressive. As a Zerg in this day and age against a strong Protoss is wild. Thank you, Korean Jesus XX, for the 19 months, mate. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead and settle this prediction. Get ready for the next one. A Protoss versus Terran. We've got the American Terran player Future coming up versus our Peruvian Protoss Mute. You guys did believe, by the way, in Erik. So, chat is well informed as always. Complete that prediction. 3-0. Future versus Mute. Best of 5. TVP. $100 for the winner and $25 for the loser. Do you guys believe in Future? Our Peruvian P? No. Sorry. Future is our American T. There we go. Or Mute. Peruvian P. A lot of Latin America, North America today. It's kind of what I went for. I just thought those guys deserve some love and attention as well. And the opportunity to play for some buckies. I hope you guys enjoy watching them. We obviously get to see a lot of the Europeans throughout the entire year, especially on this channel. Thought it would be nice to give some more love to NA and South America. I have a couple things to take care of. I think I did this. We can always do this. I think we did this. We will give this back. And we did this as well. Look at me, guys. So on top of everything, guys. So on top of everything. We also have an unban request. I always hold my heart when we have an unban request. And that is not a non-ban request. I don't know. It is a nice story, but it's not an unbanned request, so I don't know what to do with that. Alright, I'll take a little break, and by the time that I come back, it is time for Terran versus Protoss. It is time for Future versus Mute. I'll see you guys real soon.